Greetings, Sacred Mamas. I hope that this video reaches you all in the best of health and wellness and cheerful spirits. I decided to do this video. I've been thinking about it for some time, and I actually been planning to do it for a couple of days now. And today was the day that I could get it done. So here I am. And so I wanted to do this video because, we are faced with this pandemic, COVID-19, and upon being faced with it, right, on social media, I see a lot of memes and posts by moms or parents pertaining to the children being home and out of school and just not knowing what to do or being frustrated, things of that nature. And while a lot of the memes are funny and hilarious, I must admit, they make me laugh so hard. I just was thinking I felt compelled to do a video to just talk a little bit about, I guess, give my thoughts and my experience with dealing with this matter, but even prior to this matter, being a homeschooling mom and making the choice to have my children at home with me for a period of time. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about two things. One being, pretty much structuring the day, especially if you are not one who has been a former homeschooling parent, and now you're pretty much faced with your children being at home and homeschooling. So I wanted to talk about that and just give some different tips. And if it resonates with you, feel free to apply it. If it doesn't, you don't have to receive it. And I will also leave some tips and some websites and things of that nature in the description, so be sure to check that out. And then I also wanted to talk a little bit about, on a serious note, what we as moms can do, or just even as parents. But I'm specifying moms because that is my lane that I work in, with moms. But just for parents across the board, or even single dads, what we can do being faced with pretty much having to, for the most part, if you are adhering to the regulations, have, our children 24/7. And so, so that's pretty much what I want to talk about. So first and foremost, let's get into the part about our children being home with us. So, for those of you who are tuning in, and this is your first time tuning into my channel, this may be your first video you're looking at, welcome. Thank you for joining. Let me briefly explain that I am a mom of 5 children. My children range from all the way from 5 years old to 18. I homeschool all my children. My younger 2 are still being homeschooled. One of my children is finished with school. My second 2 oldest, they were in public school. They are now at home with me because of this pandemic that's going on. So it's not new to me to have the children at home, but I do understand where any parent is coming from, especially if they were not, if their children being at home was more so something like coming about because of this pandemic, and it wasn't a choice per se. And even if it is a choice, it can still be a lot, even with homeschooling moms. I think that it can still be a lot. Homeschooling, especially if you're trying to have your own business, what have you, all this kind of stuff. So I understand and I get it. And I'm just here to, I guess, share some of the different things that have worked for me. And if, you can apply it, and if it works for you, then I feel accomplished on my end. And if it doesn't, there are other great sources out here where you can learn some different tips and all that kind of stuff from moms who are in the situation, or who even may have been homeschooling themselves as well. So first and foremost, what I have found to work for me in dealing with having my children at home full time, being a homeschool mom, is having some sort of structure. Just because children pay attention to that, they pay attention to structure. They kind of like having to be able to predict how their day is gonna flow. And it just helps, I think, the children, not only the children, but the parents as well, pretty much, know how their day is gonna flow. And when I say structure, that does not mean that I'm necessarily saying that things have to happen at this time or that time. While that it can be a form of structure, I don't personally go by that. Now, I do set times, but sometimes, we can't always go with time. And so what matters to me is that the pattern, is the same. And so what I mean by that is, let's say, for instance, my schedule with my homeschoolers prior to this pandemic, it was getting up, right? It was getting dressed. It was washing our face. It was getting ready to drop off my 2 schoolers, right? Dropping them off, coming back home, having breakfast, and then having some time to kind of mellow out, play a little bit, and then we get into our lesson for the day, and so on and so on. So I would like for those things to happen by a certain time. All of those things that I did not always happen by a certain time, and that was okay. I learned to allow that to be okay, as long as we still kept the same routine. So when I say schedule, I'm not necessarily saying time, even though that could be, if that works for you. But I don't always go by the time. And the reason why I don't is because myself, in the past, I've gotten so frustrated when I've tried to maintain a certain time. And then even though, life happens, you're not always going to be able to maintain that time. And even in knowing that, I still got frustrated when we didn't do things at a certain time, and it threw everything off. And part of me just wanted to not maintain doing it at all. And so I've had to learn to accept the routine more so than the time that it's done. And so what I'm saying for parents, or for you moms, is focusing on a set routine, because this will help to order y'all's day, and it may be less chaos. And less chaos means more peace. And, you have more time to kind of go about your day and do some of the things you was doing prior to this pandemic, and do it in a peaceful manner. And so pretty much, like I said, I gave you part of my routine prior to this pandemic. Since this pandemic, our routine has been pretty much kind of similar. However, I have been allowing the children to sleep in later, get plenty of rest, keep their immune system strong. I've been sleeping in myself a little later. So pretty much our routine has been, we rest, we get up, eat breakfast, work on lessons. Then I allow them to watch a little TV or play or get on the computer. And, after that, and then we alternate between activities that we're doing throughout the day. Here and there, I might allow them to go out right in front on the front porch, something of that nature. And then, as the evening is coming, they will have, well, first, of course, the afternoon, they have their lunch. Then after lunch, they go back to their play. They're alternating between doing activities, and some of the activities that they want to do. And I'm speaking about my 5-year-old and my 8-year-old more so, because with my two that are home now that are in school, one is a junior high student, the other is a high school student. So they, they'll wake up, they'll eat breakfast, do some lessons, and then I allow them to decide on another activity that they want to do that they like. And they can do that for a little while, and then after that I will give them a chore to do around the house. So yes, they're at home, they are going to pull their weight, and they're going to help me out. So we've been having to do more, or wanting to do more disinfecting and all that kind of stuff, so they have been helping me out on doing that. So I'll give them a chore to do, they do that, then I allow them to go back to doing something that they desire to do, and so forth. And we pretty much do that until like the afternoon. Afternoon is, snack time, time to start kind of winding down a little bit. It's time to start cleaning up just a little bit, not completely, because they're still going to play until bedtime. But there's also time, for baths to be taken, especially for the younger ones. I go to work in the evening outside of the home. So more so, that's more so the bath time. Their dad, assists them with that for the most part. And, just spending time talking to them about their day, about their experiences, about what's going on with them, things of that nature. And that's pretty much our day. I go to work. When I come in, as of lately, because of this pandemic, I don't enforce them being in bed at their regular time. And so they're still up by the time I get in. So I get in, get myself together. Then I spend time chatting with them a little bit. And I allow them to watch a movie, and then we get ready for bed. So, and of course you don't have to do the things that I say that I'm doing in my home, but it's just to give you an idea of what I mean by developing a routine, to limit the chaos, because that limits the chaos in my home. If I was to just allow the children to just do whatever, and I didn't say, okay, you're going to do this today, that today, and have a routine, not necessarily focusing on the time, but the routine, I think that my house would be chaotic. I think my house would be chaotic because everybody would be trying to do what they want to do. And nothing important would get done. Everybody would be all for themselves, all this kind of stuff. That breeds chaos. So that's what I'm talking about as far as the routine. So, dear parents, dear sacred mamas, I think that what could help out in this matter is don't fall off from your routine. Because pretty much, even if you had children in the school system and now they're at home, you had a routine. It just wasn't a large part of your day. Now it's a large part of your day. So just make just construct it for how things are flowing right now. Keep that routine. That will limit the chaos. So that's on that piece. As far as with feeling stressed, because, your children are home 24/7, all that kind of stuff. Now, this right here, we have to look at this, I think, on a case by case, because depending upon how many children, the age range, all that kind of stuff will depend upon what can be done. I'm going to speak from my premise, but then I'm also going to speak from other premises as well, because I have been in the situation of having one child once upon a time in the house. And, you have that one child that they don't have any other siblings or anybody to play with, and they want you to play with them all day. So I know what that's like. I've been in the predicament of having all small children, no older children to help out, you know. And now I'm in the predicament where I have two small children and I have older children that can help out. So for me, parents, moms, it is paramount that during this situation, during this time, you have a break. You're going to go crazy. There's no other way. There's no better way that I can say it. You're going to go crazy if you don't. I'm so sorry to tell you that. Okay. And so there's going to have to be times that you create breaks for yourself. And so coming from any parents who are in the current predicament that I am in, where I have younger children and older children, I hope you already know this, but if you don't, it's fine. It's all good. One of the ways for you to take breaks is you use your older children to babysit the younger ones. Okay. That will give you a break from your children for the most part. Now, that's not to say that you won't ever hear any kind of commotion, because they're all children. So there's going to be some kind of commotion, but it will greatly diminish, especially upon the younger ones coming to you for every little thing. Okay. It'll give you a break to be able to just breathe and let a complete thought flow through your brain. That is so important, you know, for us adults, just to be able to do that. Okay. So if you're in the predicament like I am in, you have older children and you have younger children, allow your older children, put some responsibility on them. Don't feel bad about it. Once upon a time long ago, I used to feel bad about that, and I don't anymore, because I talked to a mama, and you know, she shined light on it, and she was like, you know, you're not doing anything wrong by having your children to help out. That's what community is about. And she said, think about it like this. You're also teaching them how to be a responsible adult and parent when they get older and walk that path. And so I take that with me, you know, till this day. And so I look at it from that premise, like we are a community, you know, and they're going to help out, and it's teaching them to be the best parent that they can be. And that doesn't mean that I make them watch the younger ones 24/7, because they have to take breaks too, you know. But I do utilize my older children to assist me with the younger ones. Okay. So that's that. Parents who have only young children, what I would say for you to get your breaks is create moments of quiet time. So quiet time can look like anything from, okay, we're going to sit here in this living room on this couch. Y'all are going to look at a book. Even if they can't read, they can still look at a book and make up words, you know. Y'all are going to look at a book and I'm going to look at this book, or I'm going to catch up on some work that I need to get done. That's what we're going to do, right? Or quiet time can look like we all about to lay here and take a nap, right? Or y'all about to take a nap, and once y'all take a nap, I'm going to do what I need to do. Quiet time can also look like I'm about to put this movie on right here. Y'all sit down right here in this living room. I'm going to either sit in this living room, or I'm going to be in the kitchen where I can still monitor you. But y'all going to sit down and watch this movie and be quiet, or there's going to be repercussions. So, you know, creating that, you got to create that quiet time. Utilize that quiet time, you know, if you have just younger children. And if you have just only one child that's a younger child, you know, you do the same thing with quiet time. If you have one child and it's an older child, then it's absolutely, you know, doable with creating quiet time or moments or opportunities where you have, you know, your moments of me time is very essential. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you all. Any moms or parents listening, and you may have any words of wisdom or anything that you know that you do, that you implement, that works for you and your family, please share in the description, in the comments below. You know, your feedback is more than welcome, because I think even though, you know, I'm on social media and, you know, we parents are just having a time of our lives, just expressing what it's like and what we're going through. On a serious side, you know, I think it's really important that we do continue to maintain and have our me time, our breaks, and you know, also make sure our children are still getting what they need. And so that's what this video was about. So I hope that you all were able to benefit from this video, that it was, you know, you were able to pull something from it. And like I said, if you have anything that you want to share with a parent, because we are all in this together, you know, feel free to comment below, you know, just some of your tips and some of the things that you do to make sure that things are running smoothly and peacefully and not chaotic in your home. Until next time, y'all be blessed, you know, stay well, peace, love, and light.